want to once again pay a tribute to our wonderful father, Norman, and Barry has a special, his gift to you. Besides this, our gift to you is going to.
Yes, it's a presentation. I wanted to make a few comments before reading something that will explain the presentation, and just on several things related to my dad and his life. One of the things that occurs to me is that I'm aware that on numerous occasions my mother has contemplated the possibility of making this day unnecessary. She deserves considerable recognition. I wanted to say that all of you know that the Marines were a formative influence on my dad, but he's not, he hasn't totally fit the stereotype either that goes with that. I mean, he's a man with interest in the arts. He was an organic gardener before that was cool. He's been a very loving and affectionate father to all three of us, and a grandfather and a great-grandfather as well. And so, I don't want to make this just about Marines, but like I said, it really has been important. And I remember when I was a kid, and he was still in the reserves, seeing you dressed in your uniform, standing up in your bedroom, and I mean, you were about 9 feet tall. I still remember that.
Aww.
And the one thing that disappoints me a little bit about this really incredible museum here is that I didn't see the whole thing, but I haven't seen an exhibit on the special terminology that goes with being a Marine and the special language that Marines are known to utilize. I think back to the first occasion when I was exposed to that I remember anyway. I was about 10, and my dad took me fishing. And it's fun for a kid to go fishing with his dad. But this was really special. We woke up like in the middle of the night, and we went out before dawn. And we caught a bunch of fish, and we were about ready to leave when Dad noticed that a very large snapping turtle had helped itself to the fish on our stringer. And he, I think, for a moment, forgot that he was no longer in the Marines and expressed his position with regard to this turtle in terms I had never heard before. I had never heard the actions and characteristics that he described attributed to a snapping turtle. I just want to thank him for that and many other forms of education. Comments, but I want to read to you a letter. 1 July 2012. Dear Mr. Kling, on behalf of all Marines, my wife Bonnie and I wish you a happy 90th birthday. This is a remarkable milestone, and we hope that it will offer you an opportunity to reflect fondly on your many achievements as well as your distinguished Marine Corps career. The sacrifices you made and the commitment you displayed during your time in uniform and since leaving our active ranks epitomize the highest traditions and ethos of our Corps. As a charter member of our nation's greatest generation, you proved your mettle during some of our Corps' touchdown battles. Your actions in combat are a testament to your courage, patriotism, and devotion to duty. The spirit and fortitude you and your fellow Marines demonstrated at Saipan, Tinian, and Okinawa played a key role in shaping the warrior ethos of our Corps. Marines serving throughout the world today take great pride in carrying on the illustrious legacy of valor, discipline, and steadfast fidelity that you helped forge. Your continued commitment to our Corps and your fellow warriors serves as an inspiration for all Marines. It is an honor and a pleasure to join your family, friends, and brothers in arms in congratulating you on 90 years. On behalf of all Marines, I extend deepest gratitude for your service and fidelity. Happy birthday and best wishes. Semper Fi, James F. Amos, General, U.S. Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. And the original of this letter, which Kevin is giving me because he's really the one who arranged this, is right here.
Oh.
So congratulations.
Congratulations. Wow.
The lower right hand corner is the Commandant's corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
My God. This has caused something that's very rare. I'm speechless.
Oh.
Well, I have to take this opportunity to thank my wonderful children for making this party possible. I Marion and I have often said to each other how fortunate we are to have three talented, intelligent, and loving children, which unfortunately is sometimes underscored by friends or acquaintances who are not as fortunate in some of their offspring. And it's just a never-ending source of joy to know how fortunate we are in having three such wonderful children. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this wonderful event. I also have to thank supporting cast of people like Kevin and his boys, Adam and Jason, who also are part of what represents the family here in Virginia that we are privileged to experience. And now, I was going to tell a little story to kind of pull Susan's chain and make fun of her, but
Go for it, Dad.
I'm not sure, but I think I told her a long time ago about the experience I had when I was 12 years old. My school had a holiday because the teachers had meetings. And so I was at loose ends and I was outside killing time. A nearby school in another district still had classes, and it was time for the kids to go home. And I noticed two of them walking by. One was about my age and the other was about 3 years younger. And the older one was sort of taking shots at the young one, you know, pushing him and tugging him and doing things. It didn't seem right, so I walked over to him and I said, "Hey, you can't do that." And he looked at me with complete candor and said, "It's okay, he's my brother." And ever since then, you know, I've sort of felt like I must have told that to Susan because she used to do that to her.
Poor Barry.
Poor Barry.
Oh, yeah.
Poor
So-
Barry.
I was
Oh, you were the victim.
no, I was a perfect.
Perfect angel?
Spectator.
Spectator.
Actually, I did urge her on.
But I noticed that in later years, she stopped doing that, and I think that's because she's got a guy to torment of her own.
Way to go, Susan.
That's basically what I wanted to tell you. The other thing is that when I wanted to take a photograph of Susan as a child, she was camera shy. And I used to have to chase her with the camera. And I remember one time when I had a flash of inspiration, I started to chase her and she started to run around the house. So I stopped and I went to the other corner, opposite corner of the house, and sure enough, a short time later she comes barreling around the corner and I would snap. That's the only time I got the better of her.
Aw,
That's an engineer.
that's right.
It's
true.
Wonderful, rewarding days. I thank all the participants. And I could go on, and I'm going to do you all a big favor and not.
Aw.
Thank
We're
you
gonna
all
have
very,
birthday
very
cake.
much for coming. I particularly have to thank the Miskells, who I think came the furthest. Also the Bingleys came from out of town also. And of course all the rest of you including Bruce friends, and I really love, and everybody, my grandson, Michelle, everyone. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad.
And now I'm going to
and good people around us. And it's just good to be able to see all the people that we love and like close by. So thank you for coming. I'm trying to think of as good as that. The little saying I have sometimes that it may not always be perfect, but by golly, you're all good.
Aw,
Thank you.
thanks. Thank you.
I want to announce one little thing. In November of this year, Marion and I will celebrate our 60th wedding.
Wow. Wow.
That's it.
I thought you were saying was Barry cut it?
As Zeta alluded to when he was speaking earlier, he does tend to tell stories every once in a while, and sometimes they last a little while. To tell him that it's actually not that bad. So I remember when I was younger, 7, 8 years old, he would always tell me stories about his work as an engineer, and I don't think at any time he actually thought that I was interested, but I was. And I absolutely loved hearing those stories. And
Oh,
because of those stories, I am doing what I do now. I absolutely
wow.
love it. And so, Zeta, thank you for the inspiration and
Wow.
helping me get in the path that I am now.
Thank you.
Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic.
When he was little, like 3, 4 years old, I used to say to him, I bet I could beat you wrestling. He would immediately accept the challenge, and we'd get on a bed and we'd wrestle. And I did that because, if you say to a little boy, let's hug, he isn't interested in that. A little girl wouldn't mind. He was wrestling, but I was hugging.
Aw.
She likes to sing.
No, do you want to